Hi, this is Matt Clark, and in this video, we're going to talk about creating and designing Kindle covers for your Kindle books. Now, if you go to a bookstore, you'll see a bunch of different styles of book covers. Everyone seems to have sort of their own opinion. And one thing, in a bookstore is that a lot of people, unless you have, sort of priority placement or selling a real popular book, a lot of people are going to have to find your book by the spine of it, basically. So, for example, if all the other books that are out there are, black and you have the one very bright red one and your spine just sticks out, then a lot of more people are going to pick up your book, and the more people that pick up your book is the more people that's going to buy your book. Now that one sort of principle basically works on Amazon as well. So there's only a few principles I'm going to give you here because, as I'll show you here in a second, there's all kinds of different covers that sell. There's so much else that goes into your book and selling your book that your cover matters, but there's a lot of other things that matter too, and you'll see that there's plenty of examples where not the best covers still sell just fine. But you want to sort of put your best foot forward and do everything you can to generate as many sales as you possibly can. So you're going to want to create some, a good cover that really sells your book and draws attention. So the first one I see here, and the first one I'm showing here, is one that I will bring up again and again in this training, just because I just think it's crazy, the title that they chose, the cover that they chose, and I think they've just done a really good job. And they've also done some series work, which is really good too. So anyways, once again, I've searched for weight loss on the Kindle store, and this book pops up again. Running Sucks, How to Run for Fast Weight Loss for Busy Women Who Hate Running. This is not some huge big name author that's written a ton of New York Times best-selling books. They do have quite a bit of books on Kindle that do really well, and this is one of them that's just been up there. It's stayed up there for a long time, as long as I've been looking at these results. And you can see what they've done with their cover is just made it extremely simple but extremely bold. Biggest word on the cover: sucks. It's all in white, pure orange background with a little bit of fading, but pretty much is a pure orange background, all white text. That thing takes about all of 2 minutes to create, and you can do it in a free graphics editing software like GIMP, which I'll show you in another cover video. But a lot of people out there, especially with these Kindle products and that kind of thing, will try to say, oh, you have to have high quality images and high quality cover design and all that kind of stuff. This thing is not high quality. This person probably made it themselves half jokingly, and it took them all of 2 seconds to make, and this thing is just crushing on here, and a large part probably because of the cover and the title, which is in the cover, obviously. So I personally like big, bold covers like this. Now you can get a little fancier than this. It also is sort of going to depend on your market. People that are looking to lose weight, they're sort of tired of the fluff and tired of the junk and tired of seeing some guy with some medical credentials, face all over the cover of the book. And so something like this is actually a little refreshing. But it might depend on your market. Some people might not really put up with something like this, or they may. It's just something worth testing. And that's one thing to think about whenever you're thinking about designing your cover for your book. Don't fret over whether you have the very perfect book cover, because you're going to want to switch it out at some point anyways. If you're going out there and creating a physical book, you need to sort of get out of that mindset, and that in a physical book, you create a cover and you order a print run, and especially if you're getting published, changing out the cover is not that easy. But with an Amazon, it takes you all of 2 minutes, and then basically Amazon will just recheck your book to make sure everything looks good, and you'll be back up with your brand new cover in about 12 hours. So when thinking about creating your cover design, you could go with something like this at first, but if it's not producing the results that you want, you could go with something a little different like this, with the girl's body here, smaller title, looks a little more professional, it's got a nice image there. You can basically change these things out, and I suggest that you do, because just like on basic website advertising, people get banner blindness. And with that said, there's on the one argument is that people want consistency, they want to be able to find your book, etc., etc. But all likelihood, when somebody's buying your book on Kindle, they're only going to buy it once. And so if for whatever reason somebody didn't buy it that first time, maybe it was because they didn't like the cover. So you could try one that's bold like this, and then one a little more professional like this, and you'll likely capture a different segment of the market, which is good, and all with the same exact book, just swapping out the cover. So get out of the physical book mindset and know that you can swap these things out like banner ads whenever you want. And then basically what I want to show you, a few more things, is that the reason it's hard to come up with good hard principles as far as Kindle book cover design is that there's such a variety of them that do well. So the one principle I will give you is that you want to do something that's bold and unique and fits your market. That's probably the second one, if you want to separate that, is that it fits your market. So here you can see this one, it's completely different than this one up here, as in you can't really read the text on here all that well, especially on a smaller device. But you can see here that it's basically just very unique. It's got sort of this scratchy handwriting on the cover, and this book's also doing very well. It's been up here for quite a while too. And then you can scroll down, you can see these other ones. This is like complete garbage. Book is also doing pretty well. Number 5 under weight loss, and just completely different. So it's tough to get stuck on having the perfect cover design, but I like to be bold and think that's the best way to go, because if nothing else, you'll stand out among everybody else. And then here is a category I've searched for here. As you can see, I've searched for advice and how-to. It's basically just the top level category. And you can see here that these people are basically creating covers that fit their market. Fitness foods. It's got pictures of foods, Fitness foods big on the top. I believe in creating big bold letters for your website or for your Kindle book cover, so people can actually see what your book says and what it's about just through glancing at it. This is one thing what I was saying about creating a cover that matches your market. People know exactly what to expect here. They see food, this book is about food, it's going to have a bunch of recipes. I actually downloaded this book just to check it out, and it's pretty incredible what they've done, that they're ranking #1 in advice and how-to. It's like 100 recipes. That's all that's in the book. There's basically zero text. I don't even think there's an introduction to this book. I actually just paid $6.49 for this thing just so I could check it out for marketing purposes, and I was pretty amazed. I mean, this thing's #1, only has 4 reviews. Some of them aren't even that good of reviews, and the thing just has 100 recipes. That's it. Nothing else in it. So it shows you that the market's pretty wide open on Kindle. And here's another one, nutritious cookies. It's just got a big image of cookies back there. Pretty easy to tell what this book is about. And then, so here's a few different ones. You can see this one has a picture of a rose. Real sex, the naked truth about chastity. So this one draws your attention. Just looking at this, you can not really read this all that well, but just looking at the image, you can't really tell what it is. But it does do a good job of drawing your attention to this book. Because you see these ones are lighter colors, dark background. That's a basic graphic design principle, is that your eyes are drawn to the darker elements on a page. This one's really dark on this white background for basic Amazon's website. You can see that really draws your attention over here. So that's one thing to note. And then here's over in the Amazon bestsellers. This is just what I wanted to show you, that there's a ton of different covers that do very well. This person, Suzanne Collins, absolutely crushes on Kindle, and she always has. See, the top 3 paid books on Kindle right now are from one author, Suzanne Collins. It shows you the value of creating a series. And her cover designs are all related. So if somebody sees this one, and this one, she's all basically follow the same sort of style. None of them are different basically. I mean, they all just have this little bird, and they don't really tell that much about the book. But they draw your attention, they do a good idea, and for her, best bet is creating that consistency. And then you can see down here is that what seems to do very well on Kindle is fiction books. People tend to pick up a Kindle and they read it, and they want to just basically read some leisure reading on here. So you'll see a bunch of like basic fiction covers, and all these people are fitting their market, which is good. So this person, this romantic book, basically has the typical guy and girl sort of holding hands, that kind of thing, because it's a romance novel, which is perfectly fine and it fits their market. This person doesn't want some cover that's like this, and then basically talking about this sort of deeply romantic book, when this one's obviously a comedy sort of thing. It would just sort of throw people off and may turn people off who are really looking to get in this sort of mood, basically, by buying this book. So that's the biggest thing, is fitting your market. This is another one, pretty crappy image. Lose weight, 52 brilliant ideas. This is #9 in the free on Kindle. So this is doing very well. Once again, only 4 reviews, not that good of reviews. And the cover is basically just something, relatively bold. There's a lot better weight loss images out there, and you can't really read the lose weight. But it's, fairly clear what it's about. It's got a stomach and it's got the tape measure. So creating something that's bold and fits your market are basically all you need to worry about when creating covers for Kindle. And if you look at your market and the keywords and categories you're trying to rank for, and you see everyone has light colored books or everyone has dark colored books, creating that sort of differentiation can often draw people's attention to your book instead. And like I said, I mean, you can switch them out whenever you want. So now I'm going to jump over to a couple quick pictures that I took of actually the two Kindle devices I have. I have a regular sort of old school Kindle with the black and white everything, and then I also have a Kindle Fire, because a large majority of the people who are actually downloading and buying Kindle books are obviously reading them on the Kindle, even though there is Kindle for PC and that kind of thing. So I want to show you what it actually looks like on the Kindle device, because I can show you the website all day long, but you need to see what people are actually seeing whenever they're looking at the device. So here you can see that I have that weight loss search result pulled up again. And you can see this cover for Running Sucks. Now this is on this sort of old school Kindle that's basically all black and white. So as you can see here, I mean, this cover is one of the only ones you can actually read on this thing. I'm not going to say that's completely why they're doing well, because there's so many other factors that go into doing well on Kindle. But this thing definitely stands out. And if somebody is looking to buy one of these books, it's really easy to see what this one is about. If this sort of sparks your interest, you're going to read this. These other ones, you have to sort of read the title to figure out what they're about, especially one like this. Because, I mean, this is what the screen looks like. This is a picture of the screen, but this is basically what it looks like whenever it's in your hands. You can't read these things any better than you can here. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is whenever you're creating these things, I mean, this is what it's going to look like. If you create a cover like this, you think you're trying to be sort of contemporary and, you know, fancy and that kind of thing, and you end up creating a cover that looks like this, it may not work very well because people can't really read it. So this is one thing to keep in mind. Sort of take a mental snapshot here, come back to this video, because this is basically what your covers are going to look like whenever you create them. So creating something bold like this is a good idea. This is that one again. You sort of still can kind of read this, lose weight, get healthy. It's still sort of that scratchy handwriting, but at least it's a little different. You can sort of get an idea of what's going on. This one's clearly about weight loss, so that's okay. You can't really read the title, but at least you know what it's about. And so here is basically the top non-fiction books. This one's pretty good, this puzzle book, because you can see 102 puzzle quizzes. It's very easy to tell what the book's about. And on the actual Amazon website, you can tell that these are sort of little like puzzle designs on the outside. So that's not too bad. And this one here is sort of another little romance novel kind of thing to seduce a rogue, I guess. So this one, you know, fits their market, but you still can't really tell what it looks like on here. These are fitness foods, and then the cookies book. Now, as we saw before, they look pretty nice on the Amazon, but you can't really see them that well on this Kindle device. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can't even really tell that this is cookies behind here. So if you want something to look really good on this thing, you need to be very bold. Now we're going to jump over to the Kindle Fire. I basically just took a snapshot of the actual device. It has a sort of glass screen that, you know, creates glare, so you can see this is actually me right here taking a picture with my iPhone. So we'll try to ignore that, even though I just drew your attention to it, and focus on what these covers look like. So on here, you can obviously see a lot better than on the other Kindle device. The Kindle Fire, Amazon's pushing this device real hard. It's about 199 bucks, so fairly inexpensive. I think the other Kindle device I actually bought was more expensive when I bought it than 199 bucks. But anyways, you can see this cover, Running Sucks, still the most visible out of all of these. These other ones still look, you know, these ones look decent anyways. This one's okay. This one actually looks, you know, crappier on Amazon's website, but looks a little bit nicer here. The graphics just aren't very good. This one still looks like junk. So you can see that basically standing out is still a good idea. And I just wanted you to get, I don't have any, you know, brilliant insights from you looking at the Kindle Fire, but basically you see the color stands out a little bit better. And because Amazon's pushing this device so hard, I mean, this is where things are moving. But still, there's a ton of people who have bought the old black and white Kindle, and they're still buying it because they have lightweight devices. The Kindle Fire is actually a little heavy, but you know, a lot of people are still buying this. And this particular device only works on Wi-Fi. The other device works on 3G, so you can have internet everywhere. Wi-Fi, you actually have to connect to a Wi-Fi thing. So there's still some advantages to the other device, but this is basically where things are moving. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then here, once again, is the puzzle book. You can see it's got some nice popping green color around there, and it still has 102 puzzle quizzes, so you can still read this very well. And then here's the cookies. You can sort of tell that it's about cookies now, and fitness foods, you really can't tell what that really is all that well. But just to think about, I want to show you what the devices actually look like, because this is what people are seeing. So I mean, the basic things are you want to be loud and visible, and you want people to really be able to read your text. I mean, they're looking at tiny little images on their Kindle devices, and they need to be able to see what you're talking about. And the other thing is for you to create a cover that actually matches your market. If you're writing a romance book, you're going to want to have some sort of romance picture on there, just so it sort of puts people in the mood and knows that your book is going to deliver what they expect.